Okay.
You don't look you're in a good mood at all.
What are you talking about? I got my coffee. I'm good. I was dead asleep like, I don't know, half an hour ago.
Were you? I barely slept last night.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Okay, well, I mean, this is your show, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I'm not used to it being on mine. What's great is I'm not going to cut any of this out.
Nice.
All
Should
right,
I send it somewhere? Like, I don't know what
what
your protocol is. Like, what are we supposed to do here?
Wait, I thought you said you were going to edit it with my intro.
Oh, I'm going to edit it, but okay. Well, I will edit it. I'll make it look like you edit it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
All right, Aaron.
Wait, no, wait.
Do the thing.
Here comes the smoky TKR logo. Is it still smoky? I don't even know.
It is.
Yeah.
I can't deal with you. I don't. Welcome to my channel.
God.
All right. So, for those of you that are not in tune with what's been going on, me and Aaron, AD Keto, one of my really good friends, High Fat High Fun on YouTube. What's up? What's up?
Heidi.
Heidi. He
Howdy.
and me are doing, or him and I are doing a.
Try.
I know.
Stop.
Him and I.
He and I.
Aaron, he and I, Aaron, whatever. We are doing a CGM experiment, and we've been testing. This first week was real foods, and so this is just kind of the first video recapping how we felt about everything, things that surprised us, things that didn't. I know that though, just the preference, Aaron had a little bit of a snafu. You want to tell us about the snafu, sir?
I got something that'll surprise us. Midweek after the fourth day, the little adhesive circle that they sent, the NutriSense one, that I totally botched when we installed them on our arms. And I had to oh, that's not right. I took it off. I put on the second one. And I was like, oh man, I'm probably not going to make it through 2 weeks with just this one. It's going to start to peel off. About 4 days in, it did start to peel off a little bit. I was like, I should really put a Band-Aid over that thing. And I didn't. And then I was changing my clothes. It must have happened when I was changing my clothes because I ripped it out of my arm as I was removing my shirt, I think, and I didn't feel it happen. It just came out. I had no idea that it had been removed from my arm. Half an hour later, I went to scan my arm. I went to scan my sensor. I was like, oh, it's not there. It's not there. And I looked for 45 minutes all around the bedroom. Could not find it. So I messaged you. I was like, dude, I can't find my sensor. You were like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, it came out. And I think you thought that I was really panicked because you were like, okay, calm down. Think about where you had it last. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Oh, I thought you were like, crap, the experiment. And I was like, okay, let's just breathe. Where have you looked? I'm trying to walk you through.
I was like, I'm fine. I'm not in dire straits. Yeah, I was very disappointed in myself. I was so mad for a good half hour. I reached out to NutriSense and said, hey, look, I'm really stupid, and I accidentally ripped this thing out of my arm, and I didn't notice. Is there any way you guys would be willing to send me another one? And they said, of course. As we record this, it's Sunday morning here. It hasn't shipped yet, I don't think. Or maybe it has shipped yet. It just hasn't arrived yet. So results for this coming week, I don't know when mine are going to start, but that's the situation. I have another one on the way. So we'll have a full week of your results and 4 days of mine. And then next week when we're back on my channel, we'll probably have another full week of your results and then probably another 3-4 days of mine whenever I get my sensor.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's all going to work out. All right. So again, and as I referenced before, the sad story of what happened. There was a the CGM experiment was actually really interesting. Some things happened that I wasn't expecting. First, day one was the tomato.
Yeah, this was the first day we had tomatoes for breakfast.
We did. Salt. You know what? And let me tell you, it was delicious. I don't care what anybody says. Salt on a huge tomato is amazing.
See, I didn't add salt. I just took a tomato, chopped it up, and sat there at my kitchen table kind of I'm okay with tomatoes. It did not do much for me.
Aaron,
There were some other
salt
items that
is
we
what-
ate during the week that I was like, oh, I remember this. But tomato was not one of them.
Salt is what separates us from the psychopaths. Why didn't you use salt?
Yep. Oh my
Oh,
god.
jeez. All right, huh?
What did yours look like when you had your tomato? What happened? Anything?
So, yeah, my blood sugar okay, let's see. So, I believe it peaked so it went from 73 to 82.
Yeah.
So, it went up 9 points.
Mine went from 77 to 83, 84.
It's
Like very
crazy.
minimal impact.
Yeah, and the preference, just the preference this keto
John,
break-
John, I need
What?
to stop you for just a minute.
Preference?
Yes, preference. It's preface.
Preface?
Pretend you're saying breakfast, but you're saying preface.
Preface. Oh. All right, guys. Well, this isn't about CGM. This is about correcting my grammar on my YouTube channel. So that's what we're doing today.
Hey, you have me on. This is going to happen. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Mike
Okay,
Mike is
I'm gathering
smiling
myself.
somewhere. I promise.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. We both tested Keto Brick as well, but just not fasted, like part of the experiment. It only raised our blood sugar 11 points.
Mm-hmm.
So, and 11's not bad. And I'm going to use another example later in the week to kind of compare too. But I want to preference that Keto Brick is 11 points high. It raises your blood sugar by 11 points. So it's minimal. It's nothing.
Dude, mine
So the
raised
fact that-
2. After I had my
see?
keto break, did not go up. It went from 85 to 87 or 89, so 4 points for me.
Yeah, so to see like a tomato only do 9 is insane. Like
Yeah.
I was expecting it to go way higher than that because everybody on keto is so. I used to be against tomatoes. I thought they spike blood sugar, and here
Right.
we go. No, they don't.
Well, at least for you, right? That's the whole thing. Like maybe there's someone out there who's sensitive to
Maybe.
tomatoes for whatever reason, and they may have a different result, which is why we're doing this bioindividuality thing, right?
Yeah, I definitely encourage people to. I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, use the code that we're gonna share with you guys, or what we shared with you guys. It'll be in the description below. The AD Keto Road.
That's it.
And
You know what they call that, John?
Huh.
Do you know what they call that?
What?
A portmanteau.
A portmanteau?
When you take two things and you just kind of. It's like
Portmanteau.
Brennifer.
Poor man's toe.
Sure.
Portmanteau.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it.
Poor man's toe. Did you eat
Poor-
anything
poor
crazy that
man's
first
toe.
day after the tomato? I just kept things
No.
very my normal diet. Like I had a steak for dinner. I didn't do anything crazy.
I didn't get really crazy until like day 3. Then I really started getting kind of experimental.
Yeah. I was
But
a
at
little
first
afraid.
I was like,
I need to tiptoe
Yeah.
into this. Like I didn't want to go, hog wild.
yeah, because I remember like on day 4, I messaged you and I'm like, dude, I feel like we're like straight up traitors right now.
Like what are we doing? This is such a weird experiment. Like it's messing with my head.
Okay. All right, so then let's go into day 2. So day 2 was the Honeycrisp apple.
Oh.
What was your experience with the Honeycrisp apple? Talk to
Dude,
me.
that Honeycrisp apple messed me up. It messed me up. I didn't eat. I ate it fasted. I got up first thing in the morning, ate this Honeycrisp apple, and it was delicious. Like it was just as I remembered Honeycrisp apples. And in my opinion, there is no other variety of apple, Honeycrisp or nothing. Like Honeycrisp is the perfect apple for me anyway. I remembered the flavor. I remembered the crunch. I remembered how happy it made me. And then 20 minutes later, my blood sugar went through the roof. It went from like 80 to 115 or something like that. It went from 86 to 118. And I felt it. Like I felt what was happening. I could feel its effect. It was bothering me. So I had a very, very bad experience with that naked Honeycrisp. What about you?
No, exact same. In fact, and I'm sure we're going to have the photos up on the screen. I want to get on this in a second because you'll notice my blood sugar when I ate it was 84, and then it kind of dipped and then shot up. It went from 75 to 111, so 36 points. I mean, like that's like something rice would do. Like that's insane. insane.
Yep.
And it did not make me feel good. I got really lightheaded, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, you told me you felt like you needed to take a nap, right?
Yeah, and let me preference that, that prior, you know what, let me establish, I don't know, leave me alone.
Use that. That's great. Use that.
I hate you. So before this experiment, during my runs, when I would target carbs, I would do like gala apples. Yep. And I did not feel this way at all. So I definitely, one thing I am going to try next week is I'm going to try a different variety of apple, because I feel like Honeycrisp specifically has just an obnoxious amount of sugar in it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason I like them so much, I think, you know?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was not a fan. I was like, this and one other one that we did, I was like, never touch this.
Oh my
ever.
God. Well, the rest of the day, again, because I felt so terrible, I didn't, again, do anything crazy. I think I had ribs for dinner that night and like a leftover cauliflower crust pizza. But that apple made me feel so bad. And Frida messaged me and she's like, naked carbs, what are you doing? And Allison too. They're like, don't do naked carbs. I was like,
dude,
well,
Allison messaged me that too. She was like, naked carbs.
That's what this experiment was. Then very next day, we were like, okay, I'm going to have half a keto brick before I have this apple. Same apple. And the results were staggering to me. I went from 81 to 96. Didn't crack 100. And it went up 15 points versus the previous day where it shot up over 30. So with having the fat there, as I was eating the apple, deadened the spike, which I thought was fascinating. That's what I was after. I wanted to see what this was going to do. As you manipulate things and as you kind of tweak things, that apple, if I have it with a half a keto brick, is manageable.
Yeah. Mine went from 84 to 101. Which was nothing. I mean, you're talking 17 points. It's literally less than half of what it did.
Yep.
And I felt fine. I actually felt pretty good. I was like, oh, this actually doesn't feel bad at all. I could eat a keto brick with a Honeycrisp.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't advise that, but, I could, if the world was ending, I could eat that and feel fine, which is good.
It was wild. I for as terrible as I felt that first day, I felt nothing the second day. Like, I did not have this sort of influx of, like, I don't know. I felt all wired up and flushed and bothered on that first day. None of that the second day.
Yeah, and I think a really good explanation of that, just for the viewers, is like, so basically when fat digests a lot slower than carbohydrates, and so the fat kind of slows down the release of the carbohydrates into the blood sugar, like into the blood, right? And so the blood sugar raises slower over time, and so your body has time to release insulin to regulate it. So it just regulates it better. Because I almost guarantee you, if we would have eaten the apple, so I ate the half of the keto brick first and then the apple. I almost guarantee you, if we would have ate the apple first and then the half the keto brick, it still would have spiked.
Yeah.
So there's a method to that madness. It's kind of like, it's interesting that when you see like for instance, if you were gonna eat like carbs, I almost recommend that you do it kind of like Chipotle bowl style, carbs at the bottom, proteins,
fats and
fats,
stuff on top. Got to dig for them carbs.
Exactly. You got to work for them. If you're going to eat them.
So that was the third. That was March 3rd. Did you have anything else nutty that day?
No, but something I do want to talk about real quick, and I think that this is really important. If you notice, on both the days, though, you see this huge dip right when we first ingest. And so what that is, guys, is it's our body's eliciting an insulin response to get ready for something sweet. And the reason why this is important is because what you'll see, and you don't test it because you don't have CGMs, but if you get a CGM, what I want you to do one time is I want you to put some sugar-free syrup that has sucralose or erythritol or whatever, allulose, and drink it. And then I want you to look at, and what's going to happen is you're going to elicit an insulin response, or drink it in the coffee. Don't just chug the bottle. Yeah, but what you're going to see is that number is going to crash. If you look back on the day with the apple, you'll notice afterwards my blood sugar just crashed. It just dropped down to 53. And that was from a run. But what we see, though, oftentimes is with sugar alcohols, our body releases insulin, no blood sugar comes in, and so it dips below baseline. And then our body has to go through a bunch of processes to bring blood sugar back up, which causes a lot of hangriness, mood swings. And that's why when you eat a lot of keto treats, it can lead to the urge to binge. It's not just that the food itself resembles foods that you were addicted to, but you're like literally you're setting yourself up for a lot of blood sugar dysregulation, which is going to lead to a lot of overconsumption. So just something to think about.
Yeah. That's awesome. The third day we decided to do a Naval Orange. Same situation.
Oh my.
It was, I didn't eat until it was like 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon that day. Like I didn't have anything to eat, and everything was very stable for me, like high 70s, low 80s, until I had that orange. And it surprised me. I did have that little insulin dip right after I ingested it, and it only shot up from 73 to 94. Again, did not break 100 with the orange.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Dude, mine rose like 24 points. I was at, well, granted, for some reason, well, no, I had the orange was weird because I had it right after my run, so my blood sugar had dipped. And the thing about when you run, like especially when you're fat adapted, like your glycogen stores have to get replenished as you run, so like your blood sugar kind of goes up after you run anyways. And so it was kind of like being very cohesive with my glycogen replenishment.
Yeah.
And so I started at like 101 was my low. And then it went all the way up to 125. So definitely the highest blood sugar I've had in a long time. Not higher than yesterday, but we can talk about that in a second as a bonus clip.
Yeah. A bonus clip. You're making more work for me. You know what? I think something is messed up with my log here because I am seeing the same results on 2 straight days. It's not updating my thing here. Because I do remember having a little bit higher reaction the first time I ate the orange. And then the following day, I ate the orange and then worked out and saw different results. But my graph isn't updating for the second day for whatever reason. It's showing me the same stuff on both days. I don't know why.
You had the orange twice?
I did have the orange twice. I had the orange by itself and didn't do anything after. And then the next day I had the orange and worked out and felt nothing. I think that first day of the orange, I did have... I was looking... When I told you it only went up to 94,
I thought you had the orange before you worked out the first day.
Was it? Maybe that's what it was.
I thought so.
Okay, maybe that's what it was.
I thought so, because you only have 4 days, remember?
Right.
You only have 4 days.
Yeah. Because I am in a dip.
You lost your... Yeah. It's okay.
But the orange, followed by a workout, didn't do much. Again, felt fine, which surprised me.
Well, and that brings us back to, like, you know, something we were talking about, and something that has, and this is kind of something from my education that's really shifted in my head, was I always said that, like, you know, it doesn't, what matters is controlling for carbs. Like, that's what matters. Like, I would rather have a pre-workout powder and it be 0 carbs. But then I started to think, like, well, hold on. Is it really, like, am I just being, like, carb phobic? Like, if I could have an orange, which is like something that grows from a tree,
right,
and that can fuel my workout just as good as some synthetic powder made in a lab, why am I taking the powder? Why am I not just having an orange and using it as a pre-workout? Not tracking it as food. It's my pre-workout. Yeah. I'm just eating it before I work out. Like, why isn't that a thing? And so stuff like that and what you experience kind of gets my wheels turning. I mean, what have you thought after that experience with that?
Yeah, I was like, this is basically targeted keto, what I'm doing here. You know, I had this orange, used those carbs for my workout, felt fine, had no ill effects. Blood sugar was pretty stable, not stable, but the spike from the orange was not, you know, high. Yeah, it got me thinking about, you know, implementing carbs strategically a little bit more often than I have in the past.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting to me, like, and that's what I love about the basis of, like, whole food keto. It's like looking at it from, like, a whole food perspective and going, it's not just about controlling for carbs, but it's like, okay, how can I eat a diet that is fat based while trying to stick to things that are growing, right, and not things that are synthetically made. And I think that that's the place that we should all try to get to, right? We should be eating as minimally processed foods as possible. And so just like your experiment, because that's right, because the orange day you were gonna do before workout, I was gonna do after training.
That's exactly what it was.
And I definitely think that the orange is better pre-workout.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just for everybody to think about, like that's why that this experience that Aaron had is why my wheels turn the way they do, and why I've been kind of shifting my mindset is because why wouldn't I eat an orange instead of taking a pre-workout that's full of a bunch of crap that a scientist made? I don't know what's in it.
Right.
So yeah, definitely something interesting. All right, so this was the day that the fatal thing happened.
Yeah, was this? This was the day. I have a few numbers from the day before I lost it. Do I? No, I don't. What did you? I don't have any more numbers after this. So what did you do for the rest of the week after I lost my CGM?
So Friday morning, I had homemade peanut butter made with
banana,
roasted
right?
peanuts and avocado and a banana. It only went up 15 points, dude.
Again, is it that fat? Like that fat is deadening the spike.
Oh, 100%. But it was lower than the apple with the brick, and I'm like, what? I wonder if I would have had a banana with the brick. Because, again, keto brick only raises my blood sugar by 11, which is nothing. It's negligible. So, like, the fact that the apple with the banana with the peanut butter only rose at 4 more points than that, I'm just like, wait, what? Like, that's crazy. And my blood sugar was stable the whole day after that. Like, it didn't make a bunch of, like, crazy dips and dives. That one for me was very shocking. I was expecting it to spike regardless, and it did not. So that was interesting.
Wow. There's something else I want to talk to you about. 2 or 3 days in a row, like I have a pretty set sort of agenda for the day. I get up, have something to eat, get some work in, work out, do a little bit more work in the afternoon. Like I'm usually working most in the afternoon from like noon to 4. I'm kind of just sitting and working. And I noticed these crazy dips starting like an hour after I sat down to work, down into like the 50s. And I was like, something is wrong here. Like, I don't know, did I not have this thing connected correctly? It dipped from, high 70s, low 80s down into like the 50s and stayed there for like an hour without me having anything, without me moving around, without me eating anything. What do you think about that? What is that?
I think that for ketogenic humans, that's very normal. In fact, I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday about this. Because we run on ketones, our blood sugar tends to dip a lot lower, especially when we're in a very relaxed state.
Yeah.
And then so what possibly could have been happening was you started work, you got very relaxed, very parasympathetic as we call it, and your blood sugar just kind of went down and leveled out, and your ketones were running, your body was calm, and then maybe something from work stressed you out, or you had to get up and move, and all of a sudden your body released a little bit of blood sugar. That's the thing people don't understand. Like, when we think ketogenic, we think that our body's only running on fat, and it's just not the case. Our body uses glucose. I mean, yes, it doesn't have to be exogenously, but it can be internal. But at the end of the day, right, like we still use glucose to do things, like mundane things. Like our body raises blood sugar to jump out of the chair really fast, or when we get really stressed out, our body elicits a glucose response. Like, right, like so, like. I think that's what happened. Was I think you just got really relaxed and it dipped down, and then something happened with work, and you were like, oh, because I saw that on myself as well. Like, after my runs or whatever, it dropped down to like 53, and I'm like, people are like, how are you not dead? And I'm like, well, because I'm ketogenic. That's why I'm not dead. I don't run. I run primarily on fat. I don't run primarily on glucose, so my blood sugar can be can go that low. If you're running primarily on glucose, no, your blood sugar should not go that low, because you're gonna like go into a coma. But for me, I have ketones to sustain my brain and sustain my heart and sustain my body. So we can sacrifice that at times. I don't want to say sacrifice; it's a bad term, but basically our body just regulates differently. Yeah,
it was just so fascinating to see that without any sort of input, no food, no activity, it just kind of went into this valley for a while. I was like, wow. I didn't feel anything happen. I didn't feel any different. It just sort of like went down, stayed down, then came back up. Interesting, to say the least.
I mean, if you look at have you looked at while you're sleeping? like while you're sleeping, your blood sugar just goes like this.
Yeah.
It's just like this crazy wave, and like you would think when people, and that's another thing too. That's a whole other thing. We can have a whole video about that too. Like when people say, "Oh, when you're fasting, your blood sugar is stable." No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not stable at all. Like yes, it's lower, and you're not eliciting much of an insulin response from food. But to say that like it's stable, like it stays the same number or stays within 5, no, it doesn't stay within 5 points the whole time. It's like a freaking ocean wave, man.
Yeah.
Like your body's constantly down and up regulating it depending on what it needs. So I just feel like there's a lot of gray area that's not talked about because people just try to like black and white things, and I think that that's a problem. But like I said, that's another conversation.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited to get my new CGM. Do you have anything else that you ate this week?
Yes, we're going to talk about this bonus footage right here on the screen. That, my friends, is a Quest pizza. Okay?
Oh, you posted about this last night. I was amazed.
I'm pissed. It raised my blood sugar It raised my blood sugar more than the apple.
That's insane.
It pissed me off. I was like, because I was looking at Real Good Food and they had rice flour in there, so I decided not to get it. The Quest looked clean. I went into it blindly trusting them. And I know that it's the pizza because I had cauliflower crust pizza the night before. And it only raised my blood sugar, I think it was like 11 points the whole meal. I had it with a salad. So, yeah, bite me, Quest.
Are there any other factors? Like, I'm wondering if you had that Quest pizza first thing in the morning, would it have been different?
I mean, I don't want to try it, honestly. It really put a bad taste in my mouth. Because, like, the thing is, that's the only thing I had. Like, well, hold on. So I had some keto chow when I first got home from my marathon.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for a fact, I've tested it before. Keto chow does not raise my blood sugar.
Yeah.
And then I had, like, 7 strawberries. But I know strawberries don't raise my blood sugar either. And then I had, right after that, I had 3/4 of a Quest pizza. Which should only be like 12 net carbs.
Right.
You know, shouldn't do anything.
Right.
And lo and behold, like 38
Crazy,
points.
man.
And I'm like, this
Crazy.
is dumb.
Wow. I might have to get a Quest pizza now. I might have to try that out myself this coming week, and see what happens. You don't recommend?
I mean, have fun.
No, I do want to see. I will have to get one. I want to see what happens to me versus what happened to you.
You should.
I'm curious.
Yeah, and if you don't elicit a high blood sugar response, that would be fascinating.
Was it
bioindividuality at its finest?
What is it? The Supreme? What flavor was it? 3/4?
It was the Supreme, bro. 3/4 of it. I couldn't eat the rest. My stomach was just too full.
I'll try it. Although I'm not a fan of olives, but I'll eat them. I'll eat them for you.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. So this week we are doing the video on your channel. And what are we going to be testing this week?
We are going to eat some garbage. Well, some garbage, some not garbage. Got a lot of suggestions over on my channel after that first video. Some people were like, I'd love to see a test of nuts. I'd like to see a test of chickpea pasta. I'd like to see a test of, candy. So I'm thinking we should tiptoe into some of those things. I have right next to me here some things. I know you posted, I want to do a bar day with you. If I can find the bars that you found, like you posted a picture of all these bars that you bought, and I was only able to find.
No, keep going.
He's got a handful of bars.
I'm just going to show you.
He's got an IQ bar, Good to Go, Quest. This is the only one that I was able to find at the store. I do have another place I can go to look for some of those, but we'll at least check out a bar or two on a day. I also got at the store some oatmeal. Like there were a couple people that were like, I want to see some steel cut oatmeal, and I was like, well, this actually looks pretty clean. This whole thing has 33 carbs in it.
That's ballsy.
I'm curious to see what happens. It's the only ingredients are whole grain oats, chia seed, flaxseed, and salt. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I did get myself some nuts to try. Got some pecans. I got some, what are these? Walnuts. And I did get some of this. It's spaghetti.
Ballsy.
This chickpea spaghetti. But the big thing, dude, is, and I know what's going to happen with these already, based on things I've seen from Kim Howerton and Nisha, I got a package of these.
Oh.
Smart Sweets.
Oh.
But I want to test these against standard gummy bears. Like, is there even a point to eating these? Like, what if these... I want these to raise my blood sugar less than these. Like, that's really what I want to do with this experiment. So this is going to... I'm really kind of terrified for this coming week because there's so much garbage right here next to me that does not pique my interest, really. But I'm doing it for science. So...
For science!
For science.
Yeah, you're more ballsy than me. I'm kind of like, should I make myself do exactly what he's doing, or should I try other ballsy things?
Try your own things, because I'm also going to have probably, there's going to be some overlap, and I will have like a week more testing to do after you finish. So if you do something and I'm like, ooh, that's a good one, I can like maybe roll it into another week.
Smart.
You know,
I like it.
But I gotta pace myself on this stuff, man. Like I'm trying to figure out what time of day will be best to do this. Like I don't feel like I want to do any of this stuff at night. Like I feel like the last thing I want to do is have spaghetti before I go to bed. You know,
Yeah,
it's like, why would I do that? So it's gonna be some weird breakfasts, I think.
It is good. Gummy bears for breakfast. Wow, you are literally a 5-year-old again.
Yeah. Well, I think it's gonna be serving of Smart Sweets for breakfast. See what happens to my blood sugar, and then early afternoon, serving of gummy bears and compare, and then a steak for dinner.
I like it.
And then, something like that through the week.
I like it.
What
Okay.
about, did you have anything wild that you're considering?
Not yet. Actually, I was gonna ask. So I have the bar day, the keto cereal. I actually have.
Oh.
So what's funny is I have the Keto Works cereal, right?
Yes.
I have some keto granola from Costco, and I have Catalina Crunch. So I think I'm gonna test all three
Okay.
of those. I'm gonna have like a cereal day.
I have the Wonderworks and the Catalina Crunch. Did you get the fruity kind of Catalina Crunch?
I have the Golden Graham.
Okay. I haven't been able to find your special keto milk, so I'm just going to use Fairlife when I have my cereal, I think.
Fine. But I don't have the other 3 days. So if y'all want to put suggestions in my comments and let me know what you want me to try, please be conscious of how I feel about carbs. Don't go crazy. But I will.
I mean, yeah, we're not putty in your hands. Like, we'll take suggestions.
Yeah.
You can leave suggestions. We don't have to do them.
Someone was like, I think one of your comments, and this isn't hating on them, but they were like, I don't know, this might be too far, but honey with honeycomb, and I'm like, okay, I obviously know what that's going to do to my blood sugar. I'm not about to
Right.
take a fistful of honeycomb.
Right. But you have implemented honey, correct? Mm-hmm. In some of your training runs.
Yeah.
Like that'll soak right into your muscles immediately.
Yeah.
And probably not do much to your blood sugar, I would imagine.
Not-
in the middle of a workout, anyway.
Yep. Oh, it's a great intro workout. I've found to be very useful for that. But yeah, I already know it's just gonna raise my blood sugar. It's pure sugar. I know exactly what it's gonna do.
There were a couple other comments that was like, ooh, I want to see an avocado. And I was like, well, I mean, that's kind of the staple. That's like the go-to food for this diet, and we kind of know the deal with avocado.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know that I want to do avocado.
Oh, I know one that we forgot. I had a Cobb salad at Gringo's Mexican Cantina the other day, and I had it with Charro Beans on the side, with chicharrones and queso. The whole meal only raised my blood sugar, dude, 6 points.
Wow.
6 points. I was like, okay, I can eat Charro Beans. That's fun to know. That's
Yeah.
good to know. On occasion,
I mean,
not go crazy, but on occasion, they're not going to do anything to me.
I mean, I wouldn't open up a can and just start spooning them in.
No, but if I go to Gringo's, which is once every 5 months, and I want a little bowl of Charro Beans with my Cobb salad, I can eat those carbs, and it's going to be okay.
It's so weird because we did a thing a little while ago. Sarah and I sat at the kitchen table and we had those cauliflower entrees, and they had beans in them. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have beans? Like, this is the first time in years that I've had beans. She's like, don't be afraid of the beans. So I ate them, but because there was so much fat around it, I doubt it spiked my blood sugar at all.
Yeah. Well, something I didn't think about was when I don't know about refried beans, but I know Charro Beans, when they're made, they're usually cooked in a bunch of bacon and bacon fat. They're super fatty. They're not just pure bean, and I think that there's something to that as well. But I've heard and that's what fascinated me. I've heard of other friends of mine that they can eat beans. Obviously they want to stay within their carb limit, but part of their carbs can be beans covered in a fat, and
Right.
they stay in ketosis, no blood sugar, nothing. So I found that extremely fascinating. And that, out of everything I tried this week, the Charro Beans is the one thing that I would actually like implement into my regular diet. Like, you know, so it was
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I had this week that I would implement into my normal diet, other than maybe, like you said, a pre-workout fruit, maybe.
Yes.
But apples and oranges, not my friends.
Bro, when you get
I
the
don't
seed,
think.
you gotta try Charro Beans with like a
Right.
salad or something.
Okay. We should probably wrap it up because you have to send me your file and I have to edit it and
Ah,
get it back to you.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like Sunday, and I want to watch WandaVision again, and I got to go live with Gormy tonight. We should tell people about our code again, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. And all right, guys. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Wait, what? Oh, were we not cutting? Oh, we're not supposed to cut that out.
I'm gonna just totally leave that in.
Okay, he's gonna have fun with this. No, all right, guys. If y'all want to test this out yourselves, you can go to yourselves. If you want to test this out yourselves,
Y'all selves.
selves. Code 80 Keto Road gets you $25 off, which is saving a lot of money for these 2 weeks worth of experiments. I would definitely do it. We've had fun so far.
Oh my God.
You know, next week's gonna be probably crazy. So if you want to see how you react to different foods and figure out just exactly what your ketogenic diet should look like, I would definitely invest in one for 2 weeks. Schedule some experiments, try them out, and have fun with it. So yeah, the next video is gonna be on High Fat High Fun, Aaron's channel. So we will see y'all then.
Bye, guys.